Hey there everyone, this is Laura. Welcome back to the third webcast in our Mapping Your Dream Telesummit series. This is probably the webcast that over the last few weeks of starting the Telesummit series that you're a part of, I've received the most questions about and the most calls about. I've actually had a ton of people bugging me to see if they could get this webcast first. And so I'm excited to finally be sharing it with you today because this is obviously the one that so many of you are really wanting to hear about, and rightfully so. I mean, this is really where the pedal hits the metal as far as I'm concerned with your business. When you get into doing a really nice strategic list building campaign or two for your business, everything about the scope, the quality, the quantity, the profitability of your business can really change up very quickly, overnight almost. So I'm sharing a few slides with you. This is a screenshot of my Office Autopilot account, which I took let's see, March 27th I took this screenshot, so pretty recently. This is 2012 for most of you, and this is just a screenshot to show you the list that I've built out since January. I've added 3,700 and something. Well, actually it's like 30, it's almost 4,000 now today when I'm filming this, but I've added a lot of people to my list even this year. So I just wanted to show you what is possible in a very short amount of time here when you really implement some of the strategies that I'm going to be showing you today, and why I'm really excited about building a list of 4,000 people, in the first 4 months of the year, is because there's something about the size of your list that directly correlates to your income potential as far as I'm concerned. And as far as I'm concerned, you can talk to all sorts of people about really artful ways to increase your conversions to sales. But some of those ways to increase your conversions to sales may or may not feel right to a lot of us. They might feel, like we're being too salesy or too markety. But what you can do, even if you don't want to be a real heavy salesperson in your business, which I certainly don't. I mean, you've probably seen already from me, I love giving a ton of content away. I love chatting to the people on my list. I like treating you guys like a community of people who are just getting together and learning. And, people who, buy some of my services from me are basically so basically in love with the level of service and training they've already seen from me, that when they do purchase from me, there are very few questions that remain open for them. They know that that my services are going to serve them at a high level because I've built a relationship with them. So the whole conversions thing is so often interpreted in our industry, in internet marketing, in a way that really to me feels like you're sort of manipulating a sale. But when you've built a relationship with people over time by having an email communication with them on an ongoing basis, the conversions are pretty good, but more than that, I feel so solidly comfortable and confident that anyone and everyone who buys from me knows exactly what they're getting into for. They know it's a good purchase for them, and so all of my sales feel good. And I do have, I'll show you some of my income stats in a little while, and the income is great here, but it feels good. So I would rather, in the long scope of things, teach you guys how to build a really responsive, engaged list that is really engaged with you and your product, because eventually that will convert to sales for you in the right way. And I'd rather focus on that with you guys than focus on teaching you how to manipulate a conversion to sale, which is often how it feels coming in. I'm not saying that all people who focus more on conversions than list building are manipulative. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I know that for you guys, that's how it can feel. And I know that so many of us are very relationship oriented, that it feels like a better strategy in the long term for many of us to build out a really responsive email list that will just inevitably convert to sales if we treat that list right and implement some of the strategies I'm going to share with you today. So I am going to show you today how your email list can really be a sort of ATM machine for your business, for sure. We'll look at that first, actually. But I'm also going to show you how your email list can save you time. It can develop multiple streams of income for you in your business. It really automates so much of your successes in your business that after you've got a sizable list, you'll wonder what you ever did without it. And it's a really amazing tool, like I've already said, for building relationships, not only with your clients, but with your prospects. That I really think that's important to give you a bit about tonight. And the thing that I really love about email list building is this last bullet point here. There's a fundamental difference between marketing that is solely focused on blasting out a for sale message to people and interrupting whatever it is they're in the middle of doing without their permission. For instance, a Facebook ad would be interruption-based marketing, or an ad in a magazine would be interruption-based marketing, versus what we do with email marketing, which is permission-based marketing. In other words, you have that contact's explicit permission to be in touch with them and converse with them, and the energy of permission-based marketing versus interruptive marketing is a huge difference, and you'll see that in your business. The people that you're already communicating with, when you have a responsive email list, want to hear from you. They have already given you permission to communicate with them. So the value of your communication and the perceived value of even your marketing is really trumped over all of those interruption marketers out there that are known for, well, basically annoying us. So email marketing is permission-based marketing, and that, again, just feels good to me. So I'm going to show you a screenshot here that this Office Autopilot enables me to run my my shopping cart and my email management and my affiliate management and everything out of my business under one platform. And I want to show you this screen because every single one of the sales that I have on this screen, and there's lots above, if you scrolled up on my screen above what I was able to capture in the screenshot here, you would see that there were hundreds more communications and sales like this. This is a screenshot of the very end of the last 3 months of sales for me online. These are just my online sales. They don't include my exhibitor fees and my private coaching clients and things. But these sales are all made online. And the interesting thing about all of these sales that I want you to really make note of is that every single one of these sales was not actually made directly from a page on my website. It wasn't just a person visiting one of my websites, finding a product for sale, and then clicking and purchasing the product. Although many of them clicked and purchased the product via an online site, there's a difference in how they actually got convinced to make that sale in the first place. Every single one of these transactions occurred because I had had an ongoing relationship with that person. An ongoing relationship with that person that I cultivated via email communication. And when they were ready, after they found out more about me through my emails and through some free value that I'd given them for a while to really get to know them, to help them get to know me and my teaching style, then they went back to my website and purchased a product. Okay? So all of these product sales, the vast majority of my product sales occur because of the relationship I've built with people over email. So I just wanted to show you this screenshot because there's not one transaction on here that occurred in my business because of anything other than email marketing. Okay, So I'm going to teach you a little bit about email marketing, but only after we deal with how to really build your list. So the first three bullet points here that we're going to look at in this training deal with how to actually build your email list in an ethical, cool way. And then the last three bullet points here are what to start doing with that list after you've built it, because there's things that you need to do once you obtain a contact that are really going to influence whether you're actually going to have a profitable email marketing strategy in your business or not. So I'm going to really quickly look at all of these bullet points here for you before we go into the training, just to show you what you're going to be getting in this training today. Alright, so let's look at this first bullet point about getting traffic to your websites in the first place. This is really where the conversation starts when I talk to many of my masterminders about list building. Because truly, even if you have an amazing list building campaign set up, if you don't have anyone opting into your list in the first place, what's it worth, right? So a lot of the time, the first fundamental question that people have when they come to me to start building their list is, how do I get traffic to my websites in the first place? What are some good strategies that you use, Laura, to get traffic to your websites in the first place? Because I know that the more traffic that comes to my websites, the better my list will be, the bigger my list will grow. Assuming that you have an opt-in box on your website, and I'll talk a little bit about that later on. Even if your opt-in strategy for getting them on your list isn't stellar, if you have a good amount of traffic coming to your website, you're still going to be building a list, no matter what, right? Now, we've got some strategies that I'm going to share with you to how to really, bring that traffic to opt-in conversion rate high for you, and that's what I cover in the second bullet point here. What that means is that once people visit your website, we need to get them to opt into your email list. And there's a little opt-in box that can take many different formats that we can show you, and you can put an opt-in box on your website. But if you can put that opt-in box in certain places on your website with certain incentives and certain languaging and certain visual components and images, you're going to have a higher success rate strategically than if you just had a random box buried somewhere on your site in a not very optimal way. So I'm going to look at how that opt-in box should be structured and where it should be and what it should be for in this second bullet point section of our training for you today. And that's going to help you get a really good opt-in rate, and I'm going to show you some really good examples of good opt-in rates. And you'll see a lot of this as we start talking about email list management. We'll talk about opt-in rates, click-through rates, open rates, conversion rates, and all of those numbers are going to be coming to you in percentages. So for instance, if you had 400 visitors this month to your website, okay, and you had a 5% opt-in rate, you'd have built your list by 20 people, right? But what if we got that opt-in rate to 50%? Which is entirely possible. In fact, I'll show you a couple of campaigns that I've run that have way higher than 50% conversion to opt-in. If you had 400 visitors to a website and you had a 50% conversion, instead of building your list by 20 contacts, you would have built your list by 200 contacts, right? So significant. So we'll look at that in step 2 here. Okay, step 3, unique with list building strategies. You'll actually have a sense of a few different ways to build your list after I get done with bullet point 2, because I'm going to show you actual examples of some of my landing pages that convert traffic to opt-in, and just by looking at those landing pages you'll come up with strategies on your own. But in bullet point 3 I'm going to show you one of the most creative strategies that I have that will enable you to build a sizable list if you follow the strategy through without any reach in the search engines and anybody promoting you. And it's an amazing system that I developed this last year with a few partners, and it's really been working well for us. So I'm going to show you a strategy in bullet point 3 that I'm actually using over at Flagstaff Yoga Festival in the next week or two. You'll see me roll that out, and so I've got some actual real-time screenshots to show with you there, and feel free, you can absolutely mimic this strategy. Then in bullet point 4, I'm going to show you how to get good deliverability. This is the point in the training where we transition from how to build your list to how to take care of your list. Okay, and that's every bit as important, if not more important, than the initial list building phase that everybody likes to focus on. If your emails, deliverability, what deliverability is how many of your emails, when you send them out to your list via an email management system like MailChimp or iContact or Aweber or Infusionsoft or whatever you're using, how many of your emails are actually landing in your recipient's inbox? How many of those emails are actually going to their spam filter or being bounced? And if they're going to spam, that person's never going to receive your email marketing in the first place. So there are some strategies I need to share with you in bullet point 4 in order to feel good about teaching you how to build your list. Because if I just left you with how to build your list and didn't give you how to get good deliverability, this training would be, it's useful training, but it would essentially be useless to you if everything was just going to someone's spam filter. So we'll look at that in bullet point 4. Bullet point 5, how to get good open and click-through rates. Every bit as important as deliverability. If you have an email land in someone's inbox, not spam, that's great. But the next hurdle we have to overcome is how to actually get that person to open your email, okay? If they never open your email, again, they're still not receiving your email marketing, are they? So, even if they opted in, and even if you delivered that email to their inbox, you still have to get them to open your email and probably click through on an offer that you have there, right? Otherwise, they're no better on your list for you than someone who never opted in the first place. So we'll have a look at that for you. And then finally, we'll look at conversions, which is really what this is all about at the end of the day. I mean, yes, we're focused on relationship building, but I don't know a single person who's running their business without, a profit strategy at the end of the day. It might not be, too important for you to earn, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, but I bet you want to convert some of your list at some point to income. So really and truly, for everyone on the call today, we're not going to get anywhere with any of these strategies unless you ultimately know how to convert your list to income. So that's everything that we're going to cover in the training today. So let's start at bullet point 1 here, getting traffic to your websites. So again, this is, we have to have a good flow of traffic to our websites in order to have a chance of getting those people onto our email lists, right? So there's a number of ways that you can start driving traffic to your websites, and they're listed here for you. Social media works really well for me. I do a lot of Facebook campaigns, and I do a lot of those Facebook campaigns organically without running any ads at all. And social media can be wonderful for getting people who may not have ever thought to search for your product, service, or website, may not have ever heard of you. But, if you happen to be in their networks and your message gets out to them socially, then they might just be really intrigued and come and check out what you're doing. And there's some ways to do that on social media. So, I'll have a look at that with you just a little bit on this slide. SEO is a term that some people on this call will be familiar with and some won't. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. So what does it mean to be optimized in the search engines? Well, if people are actually out there searching for a product or service like the one that you offer, what they will very often do is they will go to one of the search engines, usually Google. There are other search engines out there that you can look at as well, like Bing, but Google has, I think, about 80% of the market for search at the moment. So I focus on Google in my trainings. It's sort of the standard. So people will go to Google and they will type in a search term that they're searching for, right? Maybe it's, yoga in Albuquerque, right? And if you're a yoga teacher in Albuquerque, you're going to want to show up in the search results from that query. And that way you can organically, if you can figure out how to rank in the search engines for your niche, you can get in front of customers who are already looking for you for free. SEO doesn't have to cost you anything. Okay. Bullet point 3, paid ads. Paid ads are a little bit of a different strategy, but they can actually, if you get into doing them, they can actually convert even better for you than social media and SEO. Because if you think about it, traffic from social media is sort of like if you went to a cocktail party and you just randomly gave out your business card to everyone at the cocktail party, right? Maybe they're interested in your business, maybe they're not. You actually don't know. You just kind of happened upon them in conversation, and maybe you interrupted what they were doing in social media and they got curious enough about you that they got a little distracted and came to your website. I mean, sometimes that could work, but that person wasn't even looking for your services. They're in social mode usually when they're in social media. So you can strategically think about the quality of the time you spend doing social media strategy in that kind of a way. So usually it's almost like you luck out when you find people via social media. And I don't say that in like a terrible way. I do very well with social media, and it's an important strategy. I would love every single person on this call, within the next year, to actually have all 4 of these traffic gaining strategies fully solidly in place for your sites. And I teach you guys how to do this by unpacking each one of these massively in Successful Spirit Online trainings. But just so you know, social media is one of the hardest plays for getting traffic to your website that's actually going to be worth something to you in the long run, because we don't even know that they were looking for us. They might just be clicking through out of curiosity because they're in clicking, socializing mode, right? SEO traffic is a little better because at least we know if someone found us via search engines, they actually typed a search term into Google's search bar and we came up as a as a relevant listing for them. So we know that at least they were actually looking for, a site like ours before they click through. But still, they might just be in browsing mode if they're SEO traffic, okay? People who are doing searches may or may not actually be interested in actually purchasing something from us. However, if they click on a paid ad, like if you do a Google AdWords campaign or a Facebook ad campaign, people know that if they're clicking on an ad, there's usually something for sale behind that ad, right? So rather than just being in cocktail hour mode or browsing mode, people who click through to our website via a paid ad are sometimes actually in buying mode. Okay, so to capture someone when they're already in buying mode is obviously strategically a pretty good idea, right? So paid ads come into play as a great traffic gaining site strategy for you there. However, I'm not going to cover paid ads too much on the call tonight because I know that if you're just starting building a list, you actually want to build that list and then throw a few offers at them and see how they convert, right? It's like a return on investment. So if you don't know yet whether your offer actually converts, then are you going to want to run paid ads for your business? Probably not right away, right? Paid ads is something that I usually find my masterminders get very interested in later on, after they've built out their list for 6 to 12 months. Then they usually want to start playing with paid ads. But for the first little while in their business, social media and SEO is usually perfectly adequate to start testing the waters for their business. So even though In a long-term strategy, which we totally get you to in Successful Spirit online trainings, paid ads are a really good idea. I don't want you guys running paid ads until you feel really confident that your ROI on that paid ad is going to be high enough for you to actually justify the expense of running ads, right? And the most important way to get highly converting traffic into your websites, if you ask me, is through doing partnerships, joint ventures, that's what JV stand for, reciprocal mailings for partners, building relationships with affiliates by using affiliate software, and things that really already essentially key you right into marketing directly to other people's email lists. So with this fourth bullet point, how we endeavor to get traffic to your website is through having partners and joint venture partners email the list they have already built for you. Now that is one of the easiest ways to get very highly converting, targeted traffic to your websites. Because if you think about it, if someone who has a complementary field to your own partners with you and emails their list about your offering and directs their list through a link in their email to your website, that person is probably, out of all of the different types of people you could get into your list, like that I've illustrated here in these bullet points, that person who's already on your partner's email list is probably the most likely to come and get onto your list. Why? Well, because very simply, they've already proven that they like to stay in touch with people via email because they're already on your partner's list. So they've exhibited the behavior already that we're trying to find people to do for you. So, that there's a lot more to this last strategy here as well. But essentially, I find that when I run promotions, my highest conversion rates are from running email promotions where I partner with other people to email for me. Okay, and I'll go into that a little bit more as we go through the training. So those are some ways that we're going to focus now on you getting traffic to your websites. I'm going to really quickly, though, before we take a deeper look at some of those strategies, I'm going to show you a social media campaign that I developed over the last year that has been working wonders for me, because I know that looking at that last slide, a few of you may have been saying, well, I don't have a big social media following, or I don't have the time to build out my social media following without knowing if that's going to convert. It seems terribly time consuming to build out a Facebook or a Twitter following when all I really want to do is build my email list. So maybe that's not the first thing that you want to do in sort of a time consuming way. And SEO, search engine optimization, I teach that strategy, and I guarantee it brings in thousands every month for me just through people who've found me on organic listings now. But that might not be where you want to start out either, because SEO, getting ranked in the search engines, isn't something that can happen overnight for you, right? Usually it takes a couple of weeks to start getting ranked in some of your niche terms, and it can take several years to start ranking in like holy grail terms that have like 20, 30,000 searches a month. So SEO is absolutely an integral part of your list building strategy. But if you wanted to build a list tomorrow and get a significant number of people onto your list tomorrow, I have a strategy that I'm going to share with you right now that I developed specifically for people like you who really need to start building a list right away. You don't have promotional partners lined up yet. You don't have the social media following that you need yet. You don't have the SEO rankings that you have yet. And you're not ready to run cost per click campaigns. If you're in that boat but you really want to start seeding your list, my viral social media campaign might be where you want to start. And I'm going to need a bit of concentration from you to talk you through this right now, but I'm actually going to give this to you right here in this training. So if you need to, you can pause this video, get a pen and paper handy, because I'm now going to show you how to start building a list today. Okay, so here we go. And I'm modeling this for you with a campaign that I'm about to launch on the Flagstaff Yoga Festival website. These are some screenshots I took as I was setting this campaign up last month. So my website looks a little bit different from this today because I'm about to actually launch this campaign today. But you could do this in theory in hours, okay? Now, here we're talking about you actually having access to, go in and create pages on your website and things like that. If you can't do that by yourself and it's like an issue of massive amounts of time or thousands of dollars or just pulling your hair out talking to a web guy to make something like the campaign I'm about to show you happen, know that I do teach people how to actually do all of the work that you're going to see me run through in the next few slides on your own without spending a cent on a web developer or a designer. That's part of what I do in Successful Spirit online trainings, because I found that so many of us like getting strategies for building out our businesses and our lists, but we have this hurdle of that website thing to overcome. So if you're in that boat and anything about this campaign that I'm about to show you brings up major questions for you of how to run it, just know that if that's the boat you're in, Successful Spirit Online Trainings will literally walk your hand every step of the way through setting up the actual WordPress and web development and design back end of something like this, about putting content on your website that looks like this. So I won't touch too much on the how in this training. I just want to give you the strategy, and for those of you who are ready, you can run with it. For those of you who need more of the how, Successful Spirit Online Training will show you the how. Okay, so here's a campaign that I'm spinning out this month that I'm calling the Fundraising Mala Campaign 2012. What is this? This is a campaign where every year at Flagstaff Yoga Festival, I like to serve nonprofits. I like to give nonprofits tickets to the Flagstaff Yoga Festival that they can then raise funds for their nonprofit with. So maybe they do a raffle to win tickets, maybe they put those tickets in a silent auction, maybe they sell them directly to some of their best donors. Whatever they want to do with those tickets to raise funds is great, but I want to get those tickets in their hands. Now, usually in prior years, in order to get tickets in nonprofits' hands, I had to actually spend hours and hours and hours and hours of my time actually calling up the nonprofits and finding the nonprofits, because precious few nonprofits actually come to me asking for donations, which is kind of funny, but that's something I've found. So one way that this campaign is serving me is because this campaign allows the nonprofits to come to me in the first place, okay? But even if you don't have a large festival, perhaps you're just running a business, here's what I want you to think through in order to begin thinking about running a campaign like this in your business. Take a moment here and think, what of your services or products, or maybe a portion of your services or products that you could sort of partition out from the rest of your offerings, maybe a first week of membership or a first module in a course that you want to teach, or whatever you have, or a free consultation, or whatever you want. What could you actually give away in a giveaway type format? For me, it's festival tickets, but perhaps for you, it's one of those things I just mentioned. Now, what we're going to do with that giveaway, and I want it to be a giveaway that doesn't actually cost you much, because I want you to be able to give away a significant number of them, and I don't want you to lose money giving things away. So if you have a $100 encyclopedic coffee shop book that you only have 3 copies of left, you might not want to do that as a giveaway prize. But if you have a digital product For me, another one would be my virtual tarot school trainings. Those are digital products. I could actually give away those trainings, right? And would it cost me anything to give away a few tarot courses? No, because it's a digital product, so there's no actual overhead there for me. So strategize out in your brain what of your own products or services you could potentially give away that look and feel a little like that. Okay, now here's where I'm taking you next with that. At the start of a campaign like this, maybe you have a mailing list, maybe you don't, maybe you have a Facebook page following, maybe you don't. I took a screenshot here for you on February 20th when I was first starting this campaign. Right before I launched it, of the size of my general Flagstaff mailing list that I'd built since January 1st. I have 676 contacts in there, okay? And I've got 590 likes on my Facebook page. All right, so here's what I did. I built out a hidden page on my website, and here's what it says. Please recommend this page on Facebook so that others can nominate their causes too. We need your help to get 108 causes helped before March 15th. So I put a deadline on there that I didn't reach, but the deadline's helpful because it actually moves people to fill out the form that I'm going to show you that they fill out. The more visibility we can get for this page, the sooner we will be able to reach and help 108 great causes. Recommend this page on Facebook now to help us out. So I'm going to show you what happens when you scroll down this page, but there's a couple of things strategically about how I've set this up that I want to go over with you right now. I have a campaign here for nonprofits to earn tickets to the festival. In a similar way, you could put together a campaign for anybody to earn a product that you wouldn't mind giving away. Okay, that's where I'm going with this. So you can set up a page and perhaps you're giving away the first module of a financial planning course that you sell online, okay? Just to give an example that's completely not my own. Maybe your page would say something like, first 30 nominees accepted. If you fill out this form and you're one of the first 30 nominees to be on this form, when you fulfill the requirements of this giveaway, I will send you the first module of my course for free. Okay? And then right underneath that recommendation, you could put something like I have here. Help us get this out to 30 people. Click recommend to share this with other people you know that might benefit from receiving this first module of the course for free. Like you could do something like this with this header of this page. And yes, I show you how to embed like buttons and embed buttons and things like this on your blog post in the online trainings that we have, but you can put a like or a recommend button there, and what happens when people click that recommend button is, of course, everyone in their network sees in their feed that so and so just recommended a site. So you get some viral traction there from putting a like button on a page. But if you've got a like button on a page where you're actually inviting people to fill out a form to get something for free, that is going to build your email list. But then I'm going to show you in a little while how those contacts who are getting your free thing can actually then help you out in a much, much bigger way. One more thing for you before we go on to the next stage of how to run this campaign that I really want you to make note of here. Notice, not only do I have the middle section of this page set up to instigate this campaign where people are going to opt in to win the thing or get the thing I'm going to give them. Not only do I have the social share button in the middle there, but I have a couple of sidebars here that strategically I want you to understand how they could help you right off the bat with a campaign like this. The first one that is actually integral to running a campaign like this that I have here is the top right little sidebar where it says be the first to know, and that's my opt-in box so that people can actually join my email list, right? In order for a campaign like this to actually build your email list, you need to have an opt-in box, hopefully strategically placed in about that same position, top right hand corner, on your page. and make sure that that is there on every page that you're going to be driving people to in this campaign. Because as people visit this page through this viral social media strategy that we're employing here, they're going to just happen to see the offer to opt into your email list on the right hand side. And you could make your offer a lot more attractive than mine is here, with like a larger incentive to opt in. But, you know, just to give you an example, you do need to have that opt-in box on the right-hand side. I promise this is all going to come together for you in a minute, but I need you to really be clear that the opt-in box being right there on the right-hand side is an integral part of the strategy for this campaign to work for you. An optional part of the campaign strategy here that you may or may not want to play with is the bar that you see on the left-hand side, where I'm actually listing the sponsors of the Flagstaff Yoga Festival. For a moment, just trust that I'm going to get you to the point where you can very clearly understand how this campaign, when spun out in its entirety, is going to generate upwards of 10,000 visits to this website for me in a matter of a week. 10,000 visits in 1 week. Now think for a moment, if you went to prospective advertisers who might want to advertise on your website and you told them that in the next week you were going to get 10,000 visits to a website, and what if you had an ad on that website for them, how many of them do you think would actually want to pay you for an ad? Probably a number of them, right? Because 10,000 visits with their logo right there, just like you see my friend Susan's logo for Yoga Styles on that left-hand page, is significant marketing for them. So just know that I'm not going to talk about this much here, but in addition to list building strategy, the viral social campaign that I'm about to walk you through step by step is also potentially something that would be very attractive to sponsors and advertisers if you wanted to spin out that income stream with a campaign like this on your website. And do I teach you how to put ad boxes for different businesses onto a website in this format in the online trainings? Yes, of course I do. Okay, so let's go on. So you have a landing page here. This is what it says at the top. If you scrolled down that page, here's what you would see. Nominate your favorite cause to receive over $1,000 in festival tickets. And then there's a big arrow and it says submit a nonprofit to receive tickets. The following process must be followed. Below that arrow, I have a bit more about the nomination process for them, leading them through the rules of the campaign. I'm going to walk you through this right now because whether you're dealing with nonprofits or not, remember, you could put a campaign like this together for your business where you're giving away anything to any customer. But these are the terms that they will have to adhere to in order to get the thing that you're giving away. Okay, so I'm going to read through it to you in that manner, and just know that you can then, kind of take this, and you're absolutely through to copy it. You're absolutely welcome to copy, any of the wording here that you like. It's yours. I'm giving it to you, and you have my permission to do that. But just think about how you could tailor this to your client or your prospect that wants to come and get a service of yours or a product of yours for free. Something like this is probably what you want to write. The first, however many causes or people to complete the following process will be accepted into the 2012 Flagstaff Yoga Festival's fundraising Mala campaign. You name whatever you want. You will be accepted into the, awesome financial planning course giveaway or whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, number 1. Someone must fill out the form below for the cause. Now, if you're appealing right to the consumer here, you just replace that languaging with you must fill out the form below, right? Note, the cause does not have to be a 501c3. FYF will support any good cause that your heart tells you would appreciate the tickets to help their fundraising efforts. That line may or may not actually be, something that you need in your own version of this campaign, right? Because you may not be dealing with nonprofits like I am. Number 2, the person filling out the form must then click the recommend button that they are directed to. Okay, they must then click the recommend button. So they fill out the form, and then I tell them that they have to click the like button or the recommend button. This is the Facebook like or recommend button, okay? Say a few words about the campaign to help us reach other people through your Facebook community, and share the campaign this way. Our goal is to give over $108,000 of tickets away, so we need your help. There's a little bit of marketing psychology here that might be valuable to understand a little deeper with this bullet point. So what I'm asking them to do is when they enter to win or to get the thing that you're giving away, right after they enter, tell them that a criteria of being an entrant is to click recommend or to click like, to integrate that page that they've just filled out right back into their social network. This is going to give you a viral bump in traffic right away. And I'm going to show you the results of just this one little step here in a moment, in a few hours. For the Flagstaff Yoga Festival campaign. Remember I showed you the list and the likes earlier. I'll show you what happened just because of this step where I had people fill out the form and click recommend within a couple of hours. So you get some social oomph right away here if you require them to click the like button on your website. Word of warning, this only works if you're putting a like button or a recommend button directly on your website for people to enter through. If you do this via Facebook alone, like just right on your Facebook page, you may be infringing on Facebook's rules and regulations, and that could get your account shut down. So make sure that you're using this strategy only via embedding like buttons and recommend buttons directly on your website that is off Facebook. It's your own website. Okay? Okay, number 3. You tell the person, after we get our 108 causes or our whatever number of entrants you're taking into the system and have spread the word about the campaign in this way, you will receive instructions on how to receive whatever it is you're giving away. Essentially, each cause will be given an entry on a special page of the Flagstaff Yoga Festival website. They will be asked to collect 108 likes for their cause on that special page before March 15th. As soon as they hit 108 likes, their tickets will be sent to them. So, how you could reword number 3 here for whatever campaign you're doing. After you enter, you're in our system, and after you have spread the word by recommending the campaign on Facebook, your entry will receive instructions on how to receive whatever it is you're giving away. You will be given an entry on a special page of my website. So I'll show you some of these entries in a minute, but they're essentially little blog posts that I put together. I put together one for each entrant. And then that entrant has to go and get likes for that page or that blog post that's theirs. And once their post or their page gets to a certain number of likes, whatever number you decide on. For me it was 108 because that's a good number in yoga. Once they get to a certain number of likes before a certain date, if you want to add a deadline in there, they get their gift. Okay? So I know this might take a bit of digesting because it's a big process, but I just take your time digesting it. You know, if you go through this enough with me and you hear my words enough, even if you have to replay this a few times to understand the strategy here, and I'm actually going to show you this so that that might help you understand this too. This is gold for your list, okay? Why is it gold? You've got a certain number of people to come to get a gift. You've asked everyone to recommend the entrance page to get your gift so you can get more people to enter. Then, once they're all in your system, you get back to them after you put together a little blog post for them, and you go and ask them to get more likes for their specific blog post. What this will do is it will drive their social traffic that they're asking to come and visit and help them out and help them get the thing you're giving them by liking your page. So it's going to drive a tremendous amount of traffic to your website. Okay? I'm actually going to unpack this for you visually in a minute so you can really understand this. Okay? So let's have a look at what this looks like. So right underneath the rules of this giveaway, I have a little form that I've put in. This is just an opt-in form from an email management system. If you don't know how to create opt-in forms in an email management system, of course we lead you through all of the technicality of doing that in Successful Spirit Online. But right under that piece I have an opt-in form, and it gathers information for them, including name and email. Okay? And then that last box that I have here, the description of the fundraiser, this is something that you could possibly customize for this person, having them maybe say why they want to win your prize so badly. I've had a couple of campaigns in the past where I just said, tell me why you want to win this prize. And then what I do on their little pages is I just cut and paste whatever they write there, and that becomes their blog entry. Okay, so they can actually help you create content for your website in this piece, essentially. Let me show you what this looks like in its entirety here. So this is just like a screenshot again of the top of that page where I first ask people to enter, and then they scroll down, they see that form and the rules and everything else I showed you. The recommend button here, this is a screenshot of it in like the first hour after I put it all together. I put the recommend button up, I typed the thing out, I published it on my website, and this is when I first started. And this is again the number of Facebook likes I had when I first started. And within a few hours, okay, hang on one second, let me just scroll back to give you the point of comparison here because I think it's been a while. So, okay, I first started out at 3:48 p.m. on Monday, February 20th. See that in the top right hand corner there? I had 676 contacts and 590 people liked my page. Okay, I got done publishing all of this and went back and I just initially went into Facebook at this point, and just with the friends I already had, I said, hey, do you guys know anybody who would like tickets to the Flagstaff Yoga Festival? Here's a link for them to get some for free. You know, you just put that out to your initial contacts, your initial list. Your initial Facebook friends, whoever you're already connected to. It doesn't have to be many, as I'm about to illustrate. Maybe you already have a small page following. You could put a link and an explanation there too. Here's what I said. Okay, so I put this on my current Facebook page, which isn't that large. Flagstaff Yoga Festival wants to donate over $108,000 in tickets this year to 108 great causes. We need your help. Please share this link with anyone who may have a cause to nominate. Every cause, whether it's an official nonprofit or not, will receive over $1,000 in festival tickets to help them raise funds this year. Nominate a cause yourself here at the link, or share the link with people you know who may want to nominate one. We need help to reach our goal. PTA's fundraisers, blah, blah, blah. It's all wonderful. Nominate or share today, thank you. And the link to the page I just set up, okay? So basically, you're just going to post in whatever social media following you already have, or email to whatever email list you already have, even if it's 10 people, right? You're just going to email a little explanation of the campaign that you just put together to get something for free with a link to the page you just created. Okay, here's what happens next. So by 5:34, I took a couple of hours to put this together, and 3:48, so less than 2 hours later, I initially did that blast, and within minutes after doing this thing that I'm showing you here, this Facebook blast, I was up to 687 contacts. And I did a little bit while I was building out this list here, where I was kind of posting the same thing on a few friends' pages that I knew would be interested, right? I think we all have friends who said, oh, we'd love to come and buy your program or whatever, but I can't afford it. This is a perfect place to put those friends to work for you and your business. Have them come and get it for free. If they say they want your thing, but they're not going to spend money on it, maybe they want to help you out with this social media campaign you're running. So let's see, 687, where was I at before here? Sorry, I'm going forward, not backwards here. 687, so in 2 hours, after posting in 2 places, I built in 2 hours another 11 contacts onto my list, and this was literally within minutes of posting this. Boom, 11 contacts into my list, just because the opt-in for my list happened to be there. Okay, and And then I had, people who were previously on my list actually opt in to be one of my charities, one of my entrants in the contest. And within the first hour here, I had 2 contacts that weren't on my list at all before this opt in to be one of my entrants. Okay, so this is what I got within, an hour or 2 of posting this and sharing it. Okay, by 7:30 that night, here's where I really start showing you how effective this campaign is. By 7:30 that night, just from that initial blast to 500 Facebook fans and posting on a few friends' walls. By 7:30 that night, so what is that? 3 or 4 hours after I started, I had 78 recommendations of this page going on Facebook. That means that these 78 people clicked recommend and shared this page to their Facebook network. Do you see how this starts to go viral for you? And if you can recommend a page like this that just happens to have an opt-in box for your email list on the side of it here, not only do you get viral social traction, but you build your email list. Check this out. So by that evening, I was up to 754 contacts on that page and 636 likes to my Facebook page. Right? I didn't ask people to get on my email list in that campaign. I just asked them to recommend the page. Because the opt-in box just happened to be there on the side, many of the people who happened to come to that page because they saw their friends recommending it on Facebook did actually opt in. How many? Okay, 754, and where was I before? Before I started this 4 hours earlier, I was at 676. So within 4 hours, guys, of running this campaign, within 4 hours, I had built something like 70 or 80 new contacts to my Facebook list, right? So, I mean to my email list, 70 new contacts came into my email list in 4 hours, just from putting this giveaway campaign together. I could have run this without even having an email list to start, because all I did here was I socially shared with what I already had. And then the people who were interested started sharing with their friends. 70 contacts in a few hours. Now over the next few days, of course, I got several hundred in just from running this one contact. But this is just the start of this campaign. Yes, you get that initial boost by putting a campaign like this together, but let me show you where we're going next. This is what I haven't launched yet, and this is where it really gets interesting. So, if you saw on there that, I think I'm up to 200 and something likes on that little page that I was demonstrating likes on now. And I've had something like 150 opt-ins. So I've had an incredibly high percentage of the people who visited my website opt into my email list, just because my opt-in list happens to be in the right place, right? That opt-in box happens to be on the top right-hand side. So I know my conversion to opt-in rate is fairly high. Here's what's about to happen. Here's a screenshot of some of the blog posts that I put together for the entrance to my contest. So Conscious Community Yoga, Biodiesel US, Children's Chorale of Flagstaff, these are all my entrants who have entered this contest in order to win passes to the Flagstaff Yoga Festival. So you can imagine putting together little blog posts, one after the other like this on your page for all of the entrants to whatever contest you've run. Okay? For every single one of those entrants, you give them their own little blog post, and you embed a Facebook like button into every single one of those blog posts. Now, of course, on the top right-hand side of this page, where you're seeing all of this screenshot business going on the top right-hand side, of course, I have my opt-in box, right? Now you're going to go back to every single one of the entrants, and you're going to say, okay, here's the link to the special blog post or the special page I put together for you on your page. When you get whatever number of likes you want them to get, when you get 28 likes, when you get 78 likes, when you get 108 likes, for your blog post, I will send you your prize, right? So in my case, I'm having each of these entrants to my contest go and get 108 likes for their charity. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing 108 as the number for most campaigns, for most individuals, because I'm dealing with charities. I know I can get a little higher, somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 60 for a nice prize that's valued at, $100 or so might be where you want to start. Just a recommendation. You might want to go lower or higher than that depending on your business. But here's the math. So Conscious Community Yoga and the other 107 entrants go and reach out to their own communities and say, hey, please help me get 108 likes on this link. As soon as I do that, I get this cool prize. And all of their friends and all of their supporters come and they help them get likes on this page. So I've got 108 entrants here getting 108 likes each. To like their entrant, everybody who wants to like that entrant has to actually come to my website to do that, right? So in the next week, after I mail all of the charities about this contest, if you do the math there, 108 causes, each one of those getting 108 likes, I'm actually going to generate over 10,000 page views to my site just by running this promotion. A significant portion of people who visit my website opt into my email list. So, if I have a 10% conversion rate, which is really low to opt in, I've actually got more like 40% on this page, but let's just say I had 10%, okay, for ease of math, and I had 10,000 page views just from this one contest that takes a week to do. Okay, just from the time I'm launching this to the time I'm done with it. It's going to be about a week. I'm going to get 10,000 page views. If I had a 10% conversion rate here, I'm building a list of 1,000 people just from doing this contest. You see the potential here for you? So just from the small network that you have on Facebook, if you put together a campaign structured in this way, you can build yourself a seed email list really fast, provided you can embed like buttons on blog posts and put an opt-in on your site. That's all you need to know how to do. If you don't know how to do that, we teach you that in Successful Spirit Online. But you can have a significant list right off the bat before you even start with the major strategy of list building. This page here is just a review of the steps that I just went through with you. You're welcome to pause the video and write down these steps if you want. I'm actually not going to go through them again because we're actually running kind of long on this training and there's so much other strategy that I wanted to cover here for you. But I wanted to take some time here today with you to go over a strategy, a viral social strategy that can grow your list, like the one I just saw you, that you could technically implement today without having too much of a following, without having any SEO reach, and without having any partners. Now, I'm going to go over some of the other things that really help your list thrive. But that's one way I just wanted to gift you on this call, that you could potentially start building an email list for your business starting from scratch today. So there you have it. That's my gift to you. Okay. List building strategy number 2. So I just showed you an amazing way to get, upwards of 10,000 visitors to your website, right? Now, what happens when you have visitors to your website, no matter what strategy you're employing? And in Successful Spirit Online, we go into more of the long-term strategies. That's like a jumpstart strategy that I just gave you, right? But long-term, you want your business going in the background with things like search engine optimization, partnerships, joint ventures, advertising, social media, that all just naturally leads people to your site prophylactically all the time. So those are some of the more long-term list building, traffic generating strategies that we cover in Successful Spirit Online in depth for you. But here I'm going to show you how, once you have traffic to your website, how to get a really good conversion rate of that traffic to people who actually opt in to your email list. Okay, so opt-in incentives. Here's an example an online business, Casey Eberhardt, who has an online business. And right there on the top right hand side, just like the Flagstaff Yoga Festival page has, you can see that he has a Get in the Loop little opt-in box so that you can get on his email list. Now, this is something that I like about Casey's page. He's got his opt-in box in the correct place, top right hand corner. Okay, just like I told you. By the way, the reason that the top right-hand corner is such a great place to put your opt-in box is because if you look at what marketers have done with behavioral studies, they will sometimes do studies where they track where people's eyes actually fall on websites. And because most of us in the Western world have actually been trained to read from left to right, what our eyes naturally do is they tend to drop down. In the initial few seconds that we land on a page, our gaze will naturally go to that top right-hand corner. It's like over years and years of reading, left to right, we've trained our eyes to end up in that spot. So any call to action that you have on your websites, a good place to put that call to action is the top right-hand side there. Now, as a strategy that you might want to do that gives you more than just this, that Casey doesn't have here, and I don't have that much of on the Flagstaff Yoga Festival page, just because mainly I just want people who are interested in the festival opting in there. But if you really wanted to build a list, what I would recommend that Casey do here, more than just get in the loop, is I would have him or you, and you'll see some examples of my own here, actually give people something for opting in. Give them an opt-in incentive. So in other words, Casey could do something like, get in the loop here and get my free How to Network starter course. And he could have a beautiful little image of his starter course there and an arrow on that opt-in box, and his conversion rate would go up significantly. Okay? I'm going to teach you, I'm giving you an example here that the screenshot at the top of this page is from my own website's tracking, and the little green bit that I've circled at the bottom there, where you see the website name of healingwiththearchetypes.com, okay, over like a week or so, it tells you on that bottom right hand side there, it says conversion 40%. What that means is that 40% of everyone who visits my healingwiththearchetypes.com page actually opts in to my list. That's a really high conversion rate for a page that's just sitting there. And I'll show you why my conversion rate to opt-in is so high. So in other words, if I got 1,000 visitors to this page, I would pretty much know that I'd be building a list of about 400 people. 400 of those 1,000 would actually opt into my email list, just because of the way I've set this page up. So if you look at the Healing with the Archetypes page, and I've got a screenshot of it here for you, I have a few different things right here, right off the bat, that they can do that will get them on my list. On the top menu bar there, I have a free archetype quiz. If they click through on that, they actually get led through a process where they get the quiz, and then to get the results of the quiz, they opt into my list and I send them the results. And then on the top right-hand corner, again, just like on Casey's screen and on the Flagstaff Yoga Festival screen, in that top right-hand corner, just below the banner, I have the little piece of text here that I've circled in green. It says, revealed, an exclusive 90-minute archetype healing session live with Laura. And here's a screenshot that's kind of zooms out so you can see the rest of this page. Look at all the arrows pointing to that gift that I want to give them. I want to give them a 90-minute archetype healing session live with me. And then right under there I have a little bit of exclusivity. I tell them that there's only 500 spots available. I do these sessions via a webcast software where I have 500 slots on the lines that I can actually use to hold this webcast. So that's legitimate. I do only have 500 spots, but actually saying that there are only 500 spots incentivizes the person that if they want to get on this webcast with me, they should probably reserve their spot. And then I tell them they're also going to get the replay link to all RSVPs and lots of arrows going to where they need to opt in, and a big custom button telling them that when they click that button they're going to be signed up for this webcast. Okay, so this opt-in box is just a little more geared to actually persuading people to opt in. Like if I just had an opt-in box here that just says, oh, keep in touch with me, you know, they don't have an incentive to keep in touch with me, so my opt-in rate will be lower than if I do something like this where I'm actually gifting them an entire hour and a half's healing session right off the bat. This way they really get to know me really well, they get to know my voice, my work, and on the little bar underneath there it also says that they'll also receive some other gifts and communication from me from time to time. So this is how I structure most of my opt-ins that are just sort of static pages that people might find in search results or via social media to give a really high conversion rate to opt-in. Okay? All right, I'm going to show you something else now. I'm going to show you actually the stats for the page for this launch, the Mapping Your Dream launch. Many of you guys actually opted in to my email list, a segment of my email list during the week that I've got here on my tracking to receive the Mapping Your Dream telecast series, right? And you can see on my tracking stats here that my conversion rate on this one was actually even higher than on that last page I showed you. That last page is a good type of page to set up for, you know, your pages that are going to be ranking in search engine results or that you're just leading people to all the time. But most of you guys actually got wind of the Mapping Your Dream Telesummit series not through browsing or finding me on social media or finding me through search engine results. Most of you found me because one of my partners emailed you about this telecast series thinking that you might want to get on the Mapping Your Dream telecast list, right? So this conversion rate doesn't come from SEO driven traffic, it doesn't come from social, it mainly comes from driving traffic to a landing page from other partners' email lists. Okay, so I did a partnership with my partners. They agreed to email for the Mapping Your Dream launch because they thought it would serve the people on their list, and they led people to the landing page where I outlined the Mapping Your Dream launch, and of everyone who landed on that page, 49.55% of you, essentially 50% of you, actually opted in. So what was kind of the deal here? I described in detail, these are just 3 screenshots of what you get when you get to this page. You get a ton of information about all of the different webcasts that you're going to receive when you opt into this page. The Register Now button also informs you that I'll keep in touch with you, and I'll also send you the Successful Spirit e-zine. And then below the descriptions of all of the webcasts, I give you descriptions of all of these bonuses from all of my partners that I'm also going to send you from time to time, right? So the page is, you know, at least 6 folds long here, and it just details in length all of the different benefits that you get for keeping in touch with me, right? So that's the strategy here. Now this page wouldn't perform very well in search engine rankings because it's a landing page. You never want to try to get a landing page like this ranked in search engine results. A landing page like the Healing with the Archetypes page I just showed you will absolutely rank very well. But this type of page, it's just one page, it doesn't go anywhere. You can't really browse around and click through to anywhere else. Like you could browse around and click through to different parts of the Healing with the Archetypes page or the Flagstaff Yoga Festival page. And so the visitor retention rate and the length of time the visitors spend on those 2 pages is big, which is why they rank very highly in search engine results. Again, I go into SEO more in Successful Spirit Online. But this was just a one-time thing. I just had email partners email their lists about this one time. And so it's just a landing page. It doesn't click through to anywhere else. This is just the offer you get and you get a lot of information about the offer. You can read all about it on this page, and you can opt in if you like, but you can't really click through to anywhere else. The only thing you can really do from this page is opt in, right? So because of that, it converts very highly, but it wouldn't rank well in the search engines. So this is a different strategy. This is the type of page that you can put together if your partners are emailing specifically to this landing page for you. Different strategy, different web template if you've noticed as well. This is why I recommend people in my program have several different websites set up so that they can bring people into their list in multiple different ways. They can bring search engine traffic in to certain pages. They can bring JV partners' email traffic into other pages that might look a bit more like this, and so on and so forth. Okay, here's another idea that I'm actually not using in many of my businesses right now, but Casey's doing, and this is where his incentive does come. He puts the free incentive onto his exit traffic. So what Casey has going on here, and it's run by, as you can see at the bottom there, a service called Pop-Up Domination, which I don't personally use, but just to give you another idea for how you can build your email list. When people exit out of Casey's page, they get this pop-up. This pop-up comes up when they try to leave, and it gives them the option of opting in for a free download. Okay, so you can also utilize pop-ups as a way to build your list. Here's an even higher conversion rate to opt-in that I did for my Healing with the Archetypes launch. And this is a very short page. The reason why the opt-in on this page was extremely high is because it was traffic that had been sent from a very, very well-written email that a partner of mine, Dawn Del Vecchio, put together for me for my Healing with the Archetypes launch. She essentially emailed her list telling them that if they came to this page, they would have a chance to sign up for an archetype healing webcast. And she really wrote a tremendously wonderful email copy to get people to click to come to this page in the first place. So of everyone who clicked through, my conversion rate here wasn't 40-something%, it wasn't 50%, it was almost 64%. And the screenshot you see here is exactly what this page looks like. It's very simple. It doesn't actually have that much information at all. The reason the conversion rate was so high on this page was because Dawn sent them amazing email copy. And we give examples of really good, really well converting copy like Dawn's in Successful Spirit Online. But you know, that's another way to get an incredible amount of opt-in, is to do something specifically for one partner. Okay, so I put this together just for Dawn, and it even says in the image here, it says a private live webcast exclusively for Dawn Del Vecchio's community. So you know that Dawn's followers who are on Dawn's email list, when they see this page, they know this is just for them. And so your opt-in is, you know, it's going to be higher for that reason. So if you have the capacity in your web marketing business to easily pop together very simple pages like this, they have no menu bar, they have no header, they're just a blurb about how to opt in, what to opt in for, and the sign up, and nothing else, your opt-in rate is going to be very high. What you can do if you have a website template set up that enables you to just put out little custom landing pages like this is you can then go and joint venture with specific partners one-to-one and customize an offering just for their list. And the more unique and exclusive and targeted you make your offers to exclusive populations, niched down populations that you want to appeal to, the greater your opt-in is going to become. So we teach you how to put together landing pages like this, like more technically in Successful Spirit Online. But this is one thing that if you can strategically set up your business to include a couple of websites that you can play with in this way, in addition to your SEO reach, in addition to everything else you have going on, you're going to be able to generate a lot of traffic very easily. Okay, so as you can see here, in sort of a week-long period at the start of February here, Dawn sent 1,629 people to this little landing page, and 1,039 of them actually signed up for this promotion. So I grew my list by 1,000 people just from this one page. Okay, and I wanted to show you an example here also, just by the way, of something that's a quote-unquote soft market converting to a large email list, because I know that a lot of people out there who are doing marketing trainings for you are actually showing you examples only of how their marketing trainings convert to opt-ins or to, sales. And for most of us, we're not teaching people how to make money, are we? We want people to come into our custom love of our life joy businesses. For me, that's right now one of those businesses for me is Healing with the Archetypes. I'm not selling how to make money here, but I have a stellar conversion rate. So I'm giving you an example here of how you can get a conversion rate in any market, not just how to make money markets, okay? And I think that's really important, because I've seen that people think that conversions like this are only possible if you're teaching people how to make money. Not so. I have amazing conversion rates all the time in my soft markets, like Healing with the Archetypes. Okay, we're going to go on now. I've given you a few different strategies there for a few different types of landing pages and web pages that convert really well to opt-in. The next session of our training, we're going to be looking a little bit at deliverability. Okay, now deliverability rates have to come first. Once you've actually got people on your email list, you need to make sure that they're actually receiving your emails. Otherwise, you're never going to get good open rates and click-through rates. If they're not getting your email in the first place, they can never open your email. Okay, that makes sense, right? So I've just got a little screenshot here of some of my emails that I sent out just in the last year, as you can see. And these emails have 60, 50, 45%, 45.1% here is the lowest open rate. Usually for my industry, which is spirituality and wellness and health and wellness, open rates hover between 18 and 25%. As you can see, my open rates are much higher than that. And one of the reasons that my open rates are so high on my emails is because I have excellent deliverability. So right now I'm going to show you my number one deliverability strategy. And this is just a really small thing, but it can make a huge difference in how many people actually receive your emails versus the number of people on your list who your email will just go to spam for. Okay? So you might want to get a pen and paper out for this page. So this is the type of thing that I've started to do with my initial emails to people right after they opt in. And this is how I'm ensuring my deliverability. Before you read the content of this page, I want you to understand that a large percentage of everyone using email today is using the one top email system in the world. And that top email system in the world that most everyone, the majority of people use, is Gmail, Google's email service, Gmail. Now, there are some things that Google has set up that are very stringent spam filters that I want to help you with. I want to help you send a message to Google that the people on your list actually want to receive your email communication, so that you're going to tell Google right off the bat that your email is important to that person and that Google should place that email in their inbox, not in their spam filter accidentally. Okay? Now this isn't fail-safe, it isn't a hard and fast thing. There aren't any fail-safe strategies for how to ensure that all of your emails get 100% deliverability to a person's inbox. But this is one of the better performing strategies that I have. When people first start their businesses, their online businesses, one of the things that I see most people wanting to do right away is get their name at whatever their business name is .com, like Laura at flagstaffyogafestival.com. And I actually don't do that. What I do is I get the name of my business at gmail.com. Okay? So I have Virtual Tarot School at gmail.com. I have Flagstaff Yoga Festival at gmail.com. And then when I send people emails, like the email you see here, I'm actually emailing them from that Gmail address of mine. Okay? I email them something like you see here. Here's an email example from a sequence that I have on the back end of a site that I own called LearnTarotEasily.com. And on LearnTarotEasily.com right now, people can opt in to receive 10 different tarot spread trainings for free. In other words, I teach them how to read 10 different tarot spreads for free. And I have all of those tarot spreads going out to them in an autoresponder sequence. Okay? So on day 0, right after they sign up, an email automatically goes out to them that says, "Thanks for signing up." And on the screenshot in the foreground here, I've sent you the copy, the body of that email. It just says right off the bat, so they sign in, and first of all, they go to a thank you page right after they've signed in. And again, if you don't technically know how to set any of this up, Successful Spirit Online leads you through all of that. So they go to a page where it says, "Thanks so much for opting in. The first thing to do now is to check your email for my email. My email is going to be coming from lauracolvin@gmail.com or wherever I'm sending it from." I tell them that right on the landing page they get sent to after they opt in. Please, please, please check your spam filter to make sure it didn't end up there, and go and whitelist my email so that I know that you're receiving my emails. So first of all, they see that in their web page. It directs them back to their email, and they're looking out for my email. Then, whether that email came to spam or their inbox or wherever it came to, they find it because I've told them to hunt in their spam filter just in case it ended up there, and they open it up. And this is what the email says. "Welcome to my series of 10 tarot trainings where I'm going to be training you on a new tarot spread every day for 10 days. I've compiled a 10-day video course for you. Here's a rundown of what you're going to be receiving." I list that long form for them. This first email I send them is quite long, okay? And the reason why it's quite long is because I want it to be a very rich, content-rich email for them. The longer the email is, the lower the spam score for that email is. So Google is going to see that there's a lot of content in this email, and actually there's no link to anywhere else in this email, so they're pretty sure that nothing's being unduly or obnoxiously marketed to the person in this email. So the likelihood of an email like this being spam in the eyes of Google is very low. So make this first email very comprehensive and very long, and make it come from your Gmail address, okay? And then at the end of the email, I've circled in green a bit here which is really a key strategy for you. Here's what it says. "I'm excited to get started and want to make sure you don't miss any of the free classes. So to make sure that you have successfully got access to this email correspondence, and to also ensure that none of your free trainings inadvertently end up in a filter such as trash in your email, can you do me a quick favor? Hit reply really quickly and send me a blank email with a simple subject line, OK, so that I know you received this. Thanks." And then I close the email. So what I've just told them, after they've received a content-rich email from my Gmail address, I've asked them to hit reply and send me an email back. Okay? What I've actually had them do is open an email from my Gmail account and hit reply after they read that email. What this does, as far as Gmail is concerned, is if, a majority of people coming onto your list will probably have a Gmail account, or you have a relationship with Gmail anyway because you have a Gmail account. A lot of the time, both of you will be having a Gmail account. If someone opens your email from a Gmail account, from their Gmail account, and then not only do they read your email, but they reply to your email, Google gets the message. They get the message that this person is in conversation with you and they value your email enough that they actually replied to your email. Okay? This is really important because what happens then is Gmail will hardly ever, in fact, hardly never, ever send one of your emails to that person and have it land in spam again. They understand now that you have a relationship with this person and this person cares enough about that email relationship that they'll actually reply to your email. Does that make sense? So basically having a Gmail account and sending them an email like this as your first correspondence is going to dramatically increase the likelihood of you having a high deliverability rate. So this is like a gold strategy right here, so definitely make note of that and implement that for yourself. Here are some good open and click-through rates that I have here in some of my autoresponder sequences in Office Autopilot. So as you can see, I don't have any of my sequence, apart from ones that I haven't sent out at all yet, that I've just got constructed and actually aren't implemented, like the Master Affiliate Applicant one there. I don't actually send that out right now, but all of the email sequences that I've actually sent out have very high open rates, okay? So most of the time, again, industry standard for open rates is between 18 and 25%. And I think the lowest open rate I have here is 38.6%, so way above the industry standard. And as you can see, I've even got an email on here that has an 86% open rate on it, and that's one of my email sequences from Virtual Tarot School. So how do you get open rates this high? So here's what I'm going to show you. Here are some of the specific emails that I've got that have really high open rates, okay? So these are just screenshots horizontally of the best open rates that I have in my email sequences. And what I want to show you about these open rates is that they're for emails that are very, very specifically targeted to niches that I've segmented in my list. So one thing that makes my open rates so high is that I send out very personalized emails to segments of my list. I don't send very often emails to like a couple of thousand people on my list that everyone on the list gets the same email. I segment my list in certain ways based on the people in those segments of my list. And then I tailor my email and my subject line of my email just for that person. Okay, so for instance, if we look down about halfway down this page of examples, you can see an email that's highlighted in yellow, and the subject line on it is "Thank you gift for FYF volunteers, RSVP needed before Sunday." Okay? This email, actually the content of this email was something I also wanted to gift other people on my list, not just Flagstaff Yoga Festival volunteers, but my Flagstaff Yoga Festival presenters, my Flagstaff Yoga Festival attendants, even people who had opted into my Flagstaff Yoga Festival list in a certain time. I wanted to give them all this thank you gift that I was sending out, but I wanted a really high open rate here. So what I did is I just tailored the subject line. I segmented my list into just the people who were going to be volunteers, for instance. I segmented everyone else as well, but this is just an example for you. And then I tailored the subject line just for them. Thank you gift for FYF volunteers. And then I put a bit of time scarcity in there. RSVP needed before Sunday. So the person seeing this subject line gets that they're getting a gift if they open this email. They're getting that it's just for them because I've told them it's for FYF volunteers, so they're like, that's me. Of course, then, for other segments that I wanted to send this to, I put for presenters or for exhibitors or for whoever. So whoever was reading their subject line that came to them saw that it was just for them. And then I've got time scarcity in there as well, like they better open this soon because there's an RSVP needed before Sunday. So all of those components together helped me generate a very high open rate for this email. The one underneath here is even higher at 66.6%. Let me unpack that one for you just briefly. I don't have time on the webcast here to unpack all of these open rates subject lines for you, but this is just to give you an idea of some of my higher performing ones. So what I did with this is I actually had an opt-in on a certain business that I was running where I was giving them a free membership in a private forum that I'd set up for people just like them. So the subject line is, okay, here's our Ning group, which is the private social network where we're putting our promotional calendar. I'd had them opt into a group where they got to join a private social network on Ning that I was going to send them an invite to, and we were all going to go and, see if there was anyone in the group that wanted to partner with anyone else in the group. And so I'm sending them a special invite link to join the group. They opted in to join this group, okay? So all I'm sending them is the link to join an exclusive club, basically. And they've already opted in to join this exclusive club. So when I send them an email saying, here's the Ning group, special invite link to join included, no time scarcity needed, not really a specific segment, although this only went out to certain people who filled out a certain form. They all opened it because this is what they were seeking, and it was a very small group of people that I promoted that to. So again, if you have, remember I showed you those specific landing pages that you can spin out a few of for specific people that you want to drive to a specific offer that's just for that tiny group of people. But if you have 500 tiny groups of people, you have a very responsive email list if you've segmented them all and you can send them more customizable emails. Of course, in Successful Spirit, I show you how to automate a lot of this so you're not spending your entire life in front of your email box. But this is how you get really high open lists and a very responsive list, is you drill down and you unpack that list that you're building into teeny little subcategories, and you serve every single one of those subcategories as well as you can and in the most customized, tailored way that you can, so that your email communications with that segment of your list are very, very tailored for that specific type of person. Don't treat everybody on your list the same way. Subcategorize your list so that you can treat them in different ways based on who they are. Okay? And I give you a lot of strategies in Successful Spirit Online for how to segment your list, different ways to find out more about the people on your list, different ways to engage rules for automated autoresponders so that you can get something like these high open rates going on for your list. But that's how you get really good open rates, is you treat everybody as individually as you can, even in your large email lists. Okay, best click-through rate. CTR stands for click-through rate. I've got an email here that I sent out this year, just a recent email that had a very high click-through rate. Click-through rates usually hover somewhere between 10 and 16%, the click-through rate on this email, meaning that they opened the email and then they clicked on the link I gave them in the email, is very high. It's almost 38%. Again, it's for a tailored group within my list. This is for people who might want to present at the Flagstaff Yoga Festival. And it's only got one link in that email. Okay? It's for them. They get something. If they click on this link, they get to apply to come to present at the Flagstaff Yoga Festival, okay? I would really highly recommend strategizing out some things in your business that you can have people apply for. If you can send them a link to an application form, they want to click that link. It's I wouldn't necessarily call this power reversal, but if you know that they want a chance to do something with you, and then you send them the chance to do this, is your click-through rate going to be high? Absolutely. So you can think in terms strategically about how to engineer something like this for your business. The example that was just most recent for me was my presenter application. And I give them a deadline in this link. I've broken the email up. If you see sort of just visually how this email looks, certain things are highlighted. There's some white space in here. your eye probably naturally rests on the big purple bit where it says fill out the form on this page, right? And the email is broken up. It's not just like one big chunk paragraph all together, because people have a hard time reading that with short attention spans. Things are highlighted, bolded, broken up into different paragraphs, so it's a very clear email for them to read very quickly, and they know exactly what to do. The only call to action there is to click through, and then the call to action is reinforced with a deadline later on in the email, so they click through, So this is just one strategy I use to get good click-through rates. Okay. The last bullet point that you might remember, let me just scroll back through all of the material we've covered. I know this has been kind of content rich and it's given you a lot. Again, this is just like a primer on list building, but I had a lot to share with you. The viral social campaign, guys, I'd really love you to go over and try to implement some of that, because that's how you can start building a list right away. But if you remember, I'm just kind of scrolling back through all of this. So we went over different ways to get traffic to your website. I mentioned search engines and social and JV partners. Gave you some examples of websites I use for all of those strategies, but I really drilled down on the viral social strategy of getting website traffic to your website, because that's something that you can build on your own right from where you are and just really leverage a viral campaign to build your list. The rest, takes a few weeks, months, years to build gradually, and that's sort of a long-term strategy for your business. And then we looked at opt-in conversions, where to put your link, what sort of opt-in incentive to put on that opt-in box to get a really nice opt-in conversions. And I gave you a couple of different pages there to perhaps model, depending on the strategy you were using to drive people to your landing page. And you've probably already figured out that you're going to want to have several different landing pages in play in your business eventually. Maybe you just start with one right now, whatever's the easiest for you to start with, but eventually you're going to want multiple different landing sites for multiple different strategies. You're going to want some websites set up to rank in your search engines. And they'll look a certain way, and they'll look different from little landing pages you have set up just for a specific email campaign with one specific partner, right? And I showed you all of those. Unique list building strategies we looked at along with that, of course. How to get good deliverability, that trick I showed you of getting people to reply to your Gmail address is huge. Remember that for sure. How to get really good click and open rates, we kind of looked at that in the last few slides. So now we're on the very last bullet point here of how to actually convert your list to income. And this is just, I've kind of gone long in this training, but I'm going to tell you this. Once you've built this list, if you keep this list warm, if you continue to send them really customized things like this and really look after them in your emails to them, and you email them frequently enough that your list doesn't go cold, you can actually relax about the conversions. Because if you have a nice, warm email list that likes you and has gotten a lot of value from you, that list will convert. People get really hung up on conversions because they've been trained to focus on short-term marketing strategies, where you see people like screaming and getting all, their knickers in a twist about, oh my God, I had a 40% conversion rate on this promotion. That's great, fine, good for them. They've got a 40% conversion rate. So if they emailed 100 people a really pushy, tactic, and 40% of all of those people actually bought the product off one email, Here's what I would say about that. Maybe they've got some stellar magic system for you to buy into, but I would really think hard about the attractiveness of a 40% one-time conversion rate. Okay, what that will probably mean to push a conversion rate that high on one promotion is that they've really initiated a lot of fear and scarcity in their consumer base. Maybe they put something up like, to get a tarot card reading with me ever again, you have to come on board this week only, and it's a stellar discount, but only this week only, and after this week I'm raising my rates 1,000%, and I'm not offering any more for 6 months, so you have to buy now, right? What does that do to you when you hear a promotion like that? Imagine yourself as the consumer on the end of a pushy promotion like that. It would turn the consumer off, right? Turns me off. I feel kind of a tightening in my stomach when I hear that kind of a campaign explained to me. And it's nothing that I want to do to my list. I want to look after my list because I want my list to like me and stay in touch with me for the long run. I will maybe softball pitch a few offers to my list, once a month or so. And then for the rest of the month, I'm keeping them warm with content. Do I get 40% conversion rates? No. But I will keep the permission to continue emailing them good stuff, good content, and the occasional offer long term. 40% conversion rates are great, but you'll have a really high opt-out rate and a really high complaint rate for that kind of an email because people don't like being pushed into sales. So, you may build a 20,000 person list through really pushy tactics and then lose a third of them every month that you send out something really pushy like that for your 40% conversion rate. But you'll never, ever, ever have that list then in the future because they'll go away. They'll be opted out. If you really want to build a long-term business, don't worry so much about getting really high conversion rates. Worry about the long-term relationship that you've built with your list. So for an example of what I'm talking about here, because you saw the 80-something% conversion rate I have, the 80% open rate I have on my virtual tarot autoresponder sequence, right? The people over at Virtual Tarot School opted into my Virtual Tarot School list and they open almost everything I send them. 4/5 of everything I send them is pure content. It's pure training. They don't get pitched that often, so they continue to open my emails. I sent 1,000 of those people an email right before Thanksgiving last year. And it wasn't even a well-crafted email. I was relaxing at my mom's house. I was not really focused on structuring my email really well or anything. And I'd been keeping this list warm for a while, these 1,000 that opted in last year to the Virtual Tarot School list. And I popped out an email right before Thanksgiving saying, hey, I just had an idea. Thought many of you might want to put a tarot reading gift certificate in a loved one or a friend's Christmas stocking this year. And I'm starting to think about the holidays because I'm here at my mom's house. So I just popped up a little offer here for the first, 15 of you. If you want to, get a tarot reading from me, I'll throw in some courses along with it. And, I think I put the offer at like $100 or $97 or something. And I said, yeah, you can come and get a reading from me here. I'll accept the first 15. I got the first 15 within the next 3 days. So within 3 days, I made $1,500. Okay? Just from one email to one segment of my list, one time. I think I had maybe 2 people of those 1,000 opt out. The rest stayed with me. And I can email them again and again and again. So this is where if you just relax about your conversion rates and you know that you've really served your list well, a percentage of people will take you up on an offer when you do email them an offer, especially if it's a really gentle offer. And then that you can email your list at least once a month or a segment of your list. Remember, I've got a lot more than 1,000 people on my overall list, but that segment of my list, I was like looking at them saying, I haven't sent them an offer in a while. What do I want to offer to my Virtual Tarot School clients this month? I know, I'll give them a deal on a reading with trainings. And so I emailed just that little 1,000-person segment of my list and I'll spend a little time every month looking at my list, looking at the various segments of my list, and putting together a little package offer for each of them that's perfect for them. And every single time I do that, I will sell out for that specific segment of my list. I don't mail everyone every offer I have. I email segments, perfect tailor offers for them. People on my Virtual Tarot School list that had not already bought my trainings probably wanted an actual tarot reading from me. So I knew that, and that's what I offered them. And I said I was taking 15, and I got 15. I made $1,500 in 2 days there, and I'll do little offers to various segments of my list like that over the course of the month. And I'll just put out as many offers as I need. And with the rest of the lists, sub-lists that I have, I'll just keep feeding them good content and keeping them warm. If you can develop a long-term relationship with your list, they will convert to you when you need them to, every single time. Okay? So the beautiful thing about what happens when you build an email list the right way and you serve them with really great content, but your opt-in rate is high, your website traffic is high, and your list is warm, is the conversions you don't have to worry so much about. They'll just happen. You'll know that you will email a segment of your list and you'll get the conversions that you need. Okay? And if you're not making the money that you need to be making in your email list, growing your email list, keeping them warmer, or really tailoring the offer to them, those are the top 3 strategies that I would employ rather than the really pushy conversion rate strategy. So I just wanted to end on that note so that you guys can relax about where my trainings generally take people and what's possible when you build out a list like this, because really who I like to serve in marketing is I don't like to serve the pushy salespeople. I like to serve people who are into doing ethical marketing that they enjoy doing and they feel good in their own skin about their own marketing. That is just so important to me. And I know that most of the people we have listening to this webcast are we're that type of person, right? So I wanted to invite you to more. I've mentioned Successful Spirit Online trainings a few times to you during this call, and I've put together a package tonight that not only, if you wanted to learn more about anything I've mentioned in this training or any of the other webcasts in this series, is going to really serve you. I have a membership site called Successful Spirit Online, where all of those nitty-gritty little how-to videos, where literally you follow my cursor on a screen and watch me actually set up the technical aspect that makes all of these businesses run, all the way from buying a domain name to hosting it, to designing your websites. Every single site that I demoed here for you tonight, I designed by myself, and I can train you how to do the same thing for yourself. I don't pay high-priced web designers to do that for me. I know most of the people who do my trainings can't afford to do that. And the hurdle of having a web guy and sort of the techie aspect of getting your business up and running is sometimes very overwhelming, especially for us in like heart-centered businesses. That's not where we want to put our focus, but very often it's the hurdle that we have to jump over to really start implementing our businesses. So in Successful Spirit Online, not only do I have some really high-end strategic advanced trainings for you that are more conceptual about your marketing strategies, and I hope you got a little sense of where we go with some of that from the training here today, but I also have all of those little how-to trainings set up for you. How do I put an opt-in box on my site? How do I put that little Facebook like button on my site? Wait, how did you categorize those blog posts? How do you get those to show up on a menu bar? How do you put a link on WordPress? All of those things are unpacked for you in a training system that you can follow along with at your own pace so that you can actually learn how to do all of this for your own business. And it won't take you eons to set this up, I promise. So Successful Spirit Online is a membership site that I created with all of those how-to videos in it for people like you. It's a resource site so that all of those how-to questions that may have stopped you from really building your business out are answered for you so you can actually go and implement your business strategies. In addition to Successful Spirit Online, I put into the package today some more strategic marketing trainings for you, including a couple of tickets to Successful Spirit Summit. The next Successful Spirit Summit, as I'm filming this, is in May. And you've got the dates on the screen there for you if you want to come. I've included a ticket for you and 2 friends in the package I've put together for you tonight. And if you can't make the summit in May, know that I always also have a summit in October. So if you can't make this one coming up, you have tickets for you and 3 friends for October. And if you can't make either of them, know that the package that I'm about to offer you also includes a Successful Spirit Summit that is completely virtual in webcast format, and that is going to be a live webcast where you can actually be live on chat and on the phone with me while I go through all of the slides and all of the trainings that I go through at Successful Spirit Summit. We're going to have a virtual Successful Spirit Summit, so you'll also get invites to that if you come in with this package of online trainings and membership and summit tickets. You also get the online version of Successful Spirit Summit where you get to be live with me at a virtual summit. I also rolled in some other trainings that I have that I thought you might like, including the Abundant Spirit Club, which is an interview series that I ran with healing arts and arts entrepreneurs that have really rocked out their businesses. And it's just an interview series where you get a monthly interview with me and one of these entrepreneurs where I'm literally quizzing them on how they've done what they've done in their business, what their business model is, what their strategies were. And then we take their business models and strategies and we teach you how, if their business model appealed to you, how you could do something similar in your business. So you get a membership to the Abundant Spirit Club. It's a monthly interview series with a successful entrepreneur. It's just me interviewing that entrepreneur, and I thought you might like that. And then every month I also, for my masterminders, have been running a reader circle where we read a business or marketing or human behavior book every month. And then we were getting on a call every month together and discussing that book, kind of like a book club for healing arts entrepreneurs. And we take all of the lessons in those business and marketing strategy and human behavioral tactic books that we read, and we extrapolate, take away lessons from those books that we can implement ourselves in healing arts entrepreneurial businesses. So it's a reader's circle book club that's specifically for people like you. So I rolled in the monthly membership for that for you too. And in addition to all of this resource and the actual summit and these 2 clubs, I also have a 22-part weekly mastermind webcast series that I'm going to be sending you every week. A webcast that drills down a lot deeper than I have done in this call tonight is going to be coming to you every week. So for instance, the 22 webcasts that are included in this series, I'm sure I'll have a chance to write up their content for you pretty soon, in the next week or so here. You'll probably get an email about that eventually. But just so you know, they include things like, for instance, if we go back over the slides here, gaining traffic to websites, gaining SEO traffic to your website, for instance, to eventually list build. I look at SEO strategy in about 2 or 3 of these webcasts for you, and I give you, 4 or 5, I might even have 6 hours of SEO training for you on how to start ranking in the search engines, how to do your keyword research, how to actually get ranked for your keywords, what keywords to focus on, what keywords to stay away from. So that would be an example of one of the 2-hour webcast that you get from me every week for 22 weeks. Pretty much any question that you're going to come up with about how to build your healing arts business online is really unpacked for you extensively in every single one of these 2-hour webcasts. And there are 22 of them that I've built into this package here for you tonight. And in addition to those recorded webcasts that you get and the live summit and the live telesummit you get with me for you and 3 friends, and the online resources and the interviews with other entrepreneurs and the book club, the other thing that you get here from me is you get a membership to the JV Club, the Joint Venture Club, where I actually put you into a private forum that I've got together for you to interact with other healing arts entrepreneurs. Later on in that 22-week webcast series, what you'll find is I have several webcasts that are strategic webcasts to help you start strategizing out how to partner and collaborate with other entrepreneurs in your business so that everything that they've built for their own businesses and everything you've built for your business, eventually you guys get to go play with each other in a couple of months from now. And that's really, as you saw, like some of my highest conversion rates for my list came from partnerships. And a lot of people don't know where to start looking for these partnerships. So since I have a group of people that have gone through the Successful Spirit trainings with me, that really understand my trainings and how they're building their lists and how they're building their websites and how they're building their content and their packages and their products, I decided to put all of you in a private joint venture club together so you can go and meet the other members. So that's included here for you too. Oh, some of the webcasts I should mention also teach you how to actually create the digital products that you can sell online to supplement your business. That's a part of what we do as well. And the other thing that isn't actually on here is that in addition to those weekly recorded webcasts, I'm actually beginning a bi-weekly live Q&A webcast with me. So you're going to be receiving a ton of trainings from me over the next 6 months that are going to help you build out every element of your online business for your healing arts entrepreneurial business. So there's a lot of content in there, and through the JV Club and a Facebook group that I'll also be putting you into, I forgot to mention that, I'm also every other week going to give you a chance to ask me questions live. I'm actually going to get on a call with you guys live. It's going to be a mastermind call where you can go over and have me clarify anything that you want in those bi-weekly calls. So you'll get a lot of one-on-one attention from me in this package as well. So I know on the screen here it says 2 tickets to Successful Spirit Summit. I'm actually giving you 4 today. And so how that 4 breaks down is I'm going to give you a ticket for Successful Spirit Summit, and again you can come to the May one, the October one, and you can come to the Telesummit version of Successful Spirit Summit. So you get that for yourself, and you get it for not just 2 friends but 3 friends in this package that I'm giving you today. And so everything in here, if you add it all up, is over $1,800 worth of value. Actually, with the 2 extra tickets to the summit you've got there now, I think it's $3,200 worth of value or something. But I've got this down to $497 for you in this package today, and you can even break that up into 3 monthly payments of $167. I think it's $167. You can see anyway right underneath this webcast, you'll see the order form if you want to go ahead and get in our group. This year will become a very transformational year for you and your business, not only through the summit but through the membership in Successful Spirit Online and the 22 weekly webcasts and the live coaching with me and the membership in the groups and all of the other benefits that we've gone over here tonight. So I hope you'll join us. A package like this can really put your online career on the fast track so that next year it could very easily be you looking back in April at the first 4 months of your year, looking at, $21,000 to $35,000 in income coming in through your online business like I have going on, and looking back and going, oh wow, I built 4,000 contacts in the first 4 months of your year. In order to get to that point, I want to train you for this year so that next year you can be where I am today. So I hope you can join me. This is an offer that I won't have up forever because my mastermind groups, especially with the live one-on-one sessions that I want to do with you guys, I'm not going to be running hundreds and hundreds of people out of this mastermind group. I want a very exclusive community of the right people. So if you feel like this is right for you, if this feels like it's speaking to you, and I know that if you've looked around in the marketing training arena, you probably haven't found something that really unpacks all of the details of online marketing like this package will do for you, and give you the personalized attention that this package will give for you, and give you a chance to bring your friends in to the fold through summit tickets and whatnot for this price point. I've paid upwards of $3,500 to $10,000 for a package that didn't include a fraction of the value here. And the reason that I'm giving so much away in this package for such a reasonable cost is I know that for most healing arts entrepreneurs, most of us start off in a point where we're not running much money out of our businesses off the bat, especially not in healing arts. Many of us are running other elements of our career in order to support our career in the healing arts when we first start off. So I knew I wanted to make a package like this accessible for you, and I hope you find the value in this, and I hope you see this as something that you want to do. I can't wait to see you in Successful Spirit Online and to start working with you. So if you want to do this for the 3 payments of $167, just fill out the form right below this webcast. And if it's not the right time for you, no worries. We'll see you another time, and you've got more webcasts in this Mapping Your Dream series coming to you. So I think the next one we're going to be doing is about Facebook and social media, so that's going to be a really fun one. So wherever I leave you tonight, and whether you decide to do the package or not, I hope you enjoyed the list building strategy call. I know that was a lot of information. I know it was a lot to unpack. I hope I get a chance to help you further with that. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next webcast. Take care now.